Hi, it's your favourite Yorkshire demo here. This is Suzanne at Hullahbaloo.com, and today is day one of my Butterfly Bouquet Spotlight Week. So you may be asking what Butterfly Bouquet is. This is a little sneaky peek, and I'm going to show you these in detail in a moment. But during this week, I will be releasing 7 back-to-back video projects to time with this early release. So this is called Butterfly Bouquet, and it will be in the annual catalogue that is released later this year for 2021 to 2022. You can buy these as a customer between the 2nd of March and the 3rd of May. If you're a demonstrator or if you join my team before that date, you can get these as part of your starter kit right now, hence why I've already got my hands on them. So the collection is made up of 4 different things. So the first one is this gorgeous 6x6 designer series paper. So I'll bring that up to you. You can see there the colours are gorgeous, and you get, is it 6? 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. There is 6, but I've got one over there ready to use. You get 6 of each design, and they got like watercolour ombres on the back, butterflies on the front, rainbows, who doesn't love a rainbow? And as you can see, there's plenty of them, and in fact in total there is 48 sheets in that pack. Pop that to one side. You also get the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set, which is an all-in-one piece stamp. Now I've got mine prepped on my Stamparatus. So if I just take off the shelf, it's got mine hinged up ready. As you can see, it's all one stamp that you pop those down in. So that is a cling stamp set, and this image is only 85%. As you can see, it's a lot bigger when I just showed you then. So there's that. There's also matching dies, and now I need to show you these, as these are absolutely gorgeous. So you get 2 sheets in here and 12 dies in total. You get 6, that one there, plus these 5 here, which are really detailed and cut out gorgeous butterfly shapes. Then you get some intricate patterns. So you've got a brickwork here, like a zigzag pattern here, and these creates like an almost grungy dot pattern. This tiny little butterfly here and here, and then this one, which is an all-in-one die. And if I show you that piece of paper again, you will see that the die also matches perfectly up with the paper. What you'll see today is how I, throughout this week, I will be using that technique. So keep your eyes out. But today's technique is not using, we are using the die to cut something out, but we're not using them in a detailed fashion. They will come later in the week. And then the final piece of the collection is this paper. Now it's very difficult to show the texture of this on camera, but I'm hoping that you can see that there if I bring it up close. So this is called the Natural Touch specialty paper. So the first side is a wood grain. Now I don't mean this in a negative sense, but it does remind me of the Fablon patterns you got when I was a child in like the late 80s and early 90s. And if you rub your hands over it, you can feel the wood grain texture. And on the other side is just a more muted pattern there, if you didn't want to use the wood grain for any reason. So that is that. So that collection, you can buy the stamps separate, the dies separate, or as a bundle. And then you can buy the rest of it all as a collection. So there's separate ways in which you can purchase it. And this is what we're making with the collection today. So this is a card using the blending brushes. We're using the stamps, the dies, and then we're using the colours from the paper to make our own background with blending brushes. So we're going to crack on with this. What you might not be able to see, I think the camera's just picking it up there, is there's wink of Stella on those butterflies, which is making them stand out even more on that background. So we're going to crack on with this. So the first thing we need is that stamp, and we've got it, I've got it mounted up on my Stamparatus because of the size of the stamp. I find stamps that are this big, or the background stamps, always best when we use them with the Stamparatus. I've got my foam mat in here, although you don't need it so much for the in fact I'm going to take it out because for red rubber you don't really need it. So I'm just going to line up where I need my card, which is there. Line it up with the top. I'm just going to grab one of my magnets from underneath and let's hold that in place. So is that in the right place? Yep. So if we pop our magnet on that bottom corner, it's moving down just a tiny touch. These magnets are very strong, so they will hold it in place. Is that better? No, up a bit. And then I'll bring it out ever so slightly and line it up with this line here. Let's try that now. Much better. Okay, so because I am using blending brushes, I am going to be stamping this with Magenta ink. So I've got Tuxedo Black, and on such a large stamp as this, I grab the pad and I take it to the stamp and I just do a press and twist motion just to make sure it gets into all the little parts of the stamp so that any pattern and detail is picked up. Like so. I mean, look how detailed they look already. If I take that off of there for you, look at that. The detail on those butterflies is gorgeous. Let's pop that back in, and then we're just going to go straight over and press onto our card. And then I just give it a firm press all over the stamp. Make sure it's parted with that ink there. Like so. We open that now. We can see I've missed here, so we can bring that back in, which is the great stuff about this tool. Knowing I've missed that side, I can now go back in and press. Let's double check. A little more on this one here. And let's check now. Butterfly at the top there. Is that done? There we go. So now we've got one of each of the butterflies already done. I slide my magnet off the side and be very careful with them because there is a magnet underneath that if you snap them too quickly, they will have a little bit of not a moan, but they won't like it. So if I show you underneath, there's one there, and then this is the slot for the other. Make sure they never meet because they will snap with quite a bit of noise. Right, okay, so I'm bringing in a piece of scrap grid paper. I'm bringing in the butterflies that we've just stamped. Now you'll see here I only used 3 of them, but I've blended them before I've then cut them out. So blending colours, I've chosen Magenta Madness, So Saffron and Misty Moonlight, and these 3 colours feature in the paper, so I wanted to make sure I kept everything all linked into one another. And I've got my blending brushes, so as you can see I've got them so that they're with their colour families, like so. The final one, all we're going to do now is blend onto each butterfly a bit of each colour. And the scrap paper comes in handy here because Magenta and Misty Moonlight can both be quite strong colours when you first blend them. So the scrap paper will allow us to just take a bit of that colour away before we then blend the butterflies. So Misty Moonlight first, and you just rub that onto the surface of the ink pad. Take some off on the scrap paper, and then I'm just going to pop a little bit of the Misty colour into the top left of each butterfly, topping up my ink as and when I see I need to. And you really don't need to press down much, you just need to make sure it's smooth in consistency wherever you're popping down your colour. I think that's enough Misty Moonlight, so I'm going to move on to the Magenta, and it's the same, just on that surface there, taking a bit off on the paper and then blending in at the top right. And don't forget, it's okay to go in too light because you can then build your layers up. It's when you're going too dark you can't take colour off. And I think that's enough Magenta. And then the final colour, so Saffron, again, same again, just getting some of that on there. And then I don't blend off as much of this, as this is quite a subtle colour anyway. And then I just fill the gaps in on those butterfly. Making sure we've got a bit of each colour on the three of them. It's looking gorgeous already. And then this final one here, there we go. So we're ready to cut our butterflies out. I've popped my blending brushes to one side, and the ink, I will be needing them again as we will be blending our background too. But for now, I've just popped them out of the way. So there's two ways in which you can do this now. You can either get your snips and fussy cut the chosen butterflies, or you can grab the cut and emboss. You will need the standard sized one for this, as it's quite a large die. I am going to use the die to do it rather than fussy cutting. So you need our all-in-one die piece. If we flip that over, you will see where that's going to be cut in. It looks amazing, absolutely amazing. I might even choose different butterflies on this one. So I'm just going to grab my plates. So we need a plate 1, a plate 2 and 2 plate 3s for the standard. So there, my plate 3s, plate 1 and 2. I'll just pop these over here while I grab the machine. So here's mine. Just pop this over. Bring the sides down. So, plate 1, plate 2, we need 1 cutting plate 3, that's on. Pop our blended butterflies down and the die on top. If you're not happy that it won't move while it's in there, feel free to pop some washi tape on there and it'll keep it still. I'm just going to hold mine there whilst I grab the other plate. Make sure it's all lined up nicely. There we go. So I'm going to grab my other plate, pop that in. Make sure they don't move as I pop this down. And there is a little bit of an art form to it, but you'll get it. You get the gist of it. Bring that back out because I wasn't happy with that. There we go. Are we happy? Now we are. Let's quickly press that down before I change my mind. And let's push that through. So hold it at the top there. That cracking noise is normal for a die cutting machine that uses plates like these. So pop this back out of the way. It just pops up like that for easy storage. And then we can pop our plates away too. So as you can see, it's cut out the gorgeous butterflies there. So we'll just quickly pop those on the corner there so I don't lose them. Put my die back with its pack and pop my plates away. And there we go, we've got our butterflies. So before we blend the background, I'm going to pick the ones I want. I think I'd like to feature this big one this time. So this is the paper I'm going to be using for the back. This is 3 7/8 by 5 5/8. So now you can just mess with the layout and see how you want it. I use the 3 biggish butterflies. I don't know if that butterfly is too big. I can move that one out. Bring this. It's just going to end up the same layout, isn't it? They're the 3 I used on the other. So I think I'll use those again actually. And then of course, save these 3. They could be another card. So they're all good. So what I know I want to do now is wink Stella those so that they can be drying while we're doing the background. So wink Stella. So this is it's almost like a watercolour brush tip, but instead of watercolouring, it's just it's a liquid with, I don't know how well you're seeing the glitter there, but it's got glitter in it. So if I bring up this big butterfly and we start applying the liquid from it, you'll see there that, bring that up, can you see that? So you see there that there's glitter in that liquid, and if you feel it enough glitter you can squeeze and it'll feed some more through, like so. And then you just keep layering it up. If you want more glitter, keep going over the area, like so. And I'm just staying in the lines of the butterfly's shape here, just to add that layer of glitter. So you can see there, I've done that side, and that's all I'm going to do now across the rest. And I'll do this quick so that you're not sat watching me for a long time try and colour these in, or glitter these in should I say. And the great thing about using Magenta is that Wink Stella doesn't make Magenta run, because it's great for Wink Stella, for blends, all sorts. So that's that one done. We'll pop that to one side. This little one. Like so. And there we go, that's that one. And then the final one, we colour this butterfly up. Don't the colours really work well together on that blended background? They really, really do. And that's just from taking inspiration from the papers themselves. Right, there we go. So those three have now been coloured in. I'm just going to pop these just off my grid paper there, just so that they can be drying whilst we do the background. Pop the Wink of Stella away, and we'll bring in the background, and we'll bring in the scrap paper again and the blending brushes. However, this time I'm not bringing in the ink straight away because this card was a more muted background, and so I'm going to see if I can do it with just what's left on the brushes already. So I've got Misty Moonlight first. I'm going to go from this bottom right hand corner, and I'm just going to blend onto the card like so. And I'll just keep blending and blending in these circles until I feel it's a nice colour we've got there. Which I do feel we've got there, looking good. So I'll bring in Magenta next actually. I'm going to turn it and I'm going to go into this corner. Like so. You'll see these brushes leave lovely consistent blending. This one I'm just going to go straight across that centre there. And then I might fill this top little gap with just a bit more magenta at the opposite side. There we go, lovely. I think that looks beautiful. Okay, so we can now bring the cards together. Let's get rid of that scrap paper. So we've got our background, that's all ready to go. I'm going to grab some Seal Plus out of my drawer, and we're going to stick this. So a bit of Seal Plus all around the edges there. When I've rolled it on, there we go. That's ready. I've got a piece of basic black. This measures 4 inches by 5 3/4, and I'm just going to lay this onto that. Just I've gone slightly over with my tape runner there. So the good thing about that is you can peel it back on itself. We'll get that into the centre of that black card there, like so. And then I've got a card base. This is thick basic white. This is half of a sheet of A4, so there would have been 2. And then I've scored it in half. So we'll fold that with our bone folder, give it a crisp edge. And we're just going to pop that onto the front there, like so, which will look really good. There we go. Let's pop that on. And now we can bring in our butterflies. So we've got the larger butterfly, and all I'm doing is I've got my paper snips, and I'm just resting, in fact I'm going to open them, I'm just resting them against the edge of the butterfly's body so that from underneath I can press and get some dimension as to where its wing would be moving, like so. And then with my bone folder I'm going from that line we've just made, and I'm just giving the wings a bit of a curl. So there's one. Grab my second one and do the same. So find its body and just bend, body and bend. And then give the wings a curl. the top. Yeah, looks good there. And then the final one, which I can't pick up off my table, this little one. Again, get along its body and just bend on both sides, and then give those wings a curl. Bend. Pop that in the bottom corner, I think. Pop that over there, and that there. That's looking good. Okay, so we've got one more bit of stamping, and for this I'm using the You Are Amazing stamp set, and I'm using this one in the bottom corner here that literally says You Are Amazing. So we'll get that mounted, and again I am using Magenta ink, and I'm going to use, what block am I using? I'm going to go in with this one, I think, a D block. So we'll get that lined up there. And where's my Magenta gone? Where did I put it? It's here. Get the You Are Amazing. And let's see if I can get this one as straight as I got the other one. I was amazed at that other one. So let's just, we want it about there. Is that straight? Yes. Yes, after the many years in crafting that I've done so far, I am still amazed when I get something perfectly straight. Right, okay, final finishing touches. A piece of we need some Tombow. Need to find my Tombow. Here we go, here's mine. Make sure this isn't one of my emptier ones. And I'm just literally popping a tiny little bit down the centre of the butterfly's body on the back. Pop that where we want it and press. Give that a moment to dry, and if you need to wiggle it you can. There we go. Same on this big butterfly's body here. Move them out of the way before I hurt myself. And again, press and just wait. And then the little one, and we're going to just do the same. Pop that in the corner and press. And the brilliant thing about these cards is that no matter how much you try to emulate the same pattern over and over again, you'll never get two the same. Just pop those wings up a little bit. Beautiful. And a final finishing touch, so I'm just going to go in my embellishments here. I've got some matte black dots. So with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm just going to pop some of these around the card. Now I went a bit embellishment mad on the last card. So let's see. We'll go there. There. 2, 3. We'll pop one over here. 4. And 5. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, and as you can see, no two card looks the same. Which do you prefer? I think this one is a little more subtle with the butterflies. I bet this has got the bright tones. I think I love them equally. Which do you prefer? Number 1, number 2? You'll have to let me know in the comments. Okay, thank you very much for watching today, and if you are interested in the products used today, remember these are on a limited purchase between the 2nd of March and the 3rd of May. These are an early release from the 2021 to 2022 annual catalogue. This is video 1 of 7 this week, so if you are interested but aren't quite convinced by the product set yet, please make sure you tune into the rest of my videos this week. And if you've liked what you've seen and you're interested in the tutorials that I will be releasing in future, please go under this video and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications for future releases. You can also pop over to hullahbaloo.com where I list everything that I've used so that you can also get your hands on those for your own craft collections. And I'll see you tomorrow with video 2 of the series. Bye!